I just want to start. Okay, so before you came to me, okay, before we started this whole journey process together, what was your life like before we started working together? Think about your routine, your health, stress, energy, confidence, clothes, social situation, stuff like that. When you were at 59.2 or something.
Okay.
Or,
What was my life like?
mm,
Honestly, before I came to you, the reason why I never came to anybody for so long, my whole entire life actually, was because when you are very busy at work, I think a lot of people say, oh, I'm so busy at work, I don't have time to do the exercise or whatever. I don't think it's a matter of time, because I think if you want to do something, you can make the time for it, regardless of how busy you are. I think the real issue is, for me, there was no mental capacity. Because when you are really very busy, and even when you're off work, your mind is still thinking about work. And when I came on this journey with you, I realized that it actually takes a lot of mental processing, understanding the process, digesting your materials, because I'm doing a DIY program, right? So it's not just you telling me do this and then this and this. I am digesting your program, understanding your approach, and then implementing it. So it's something that needs a lot of mental commitment and energy. I think for me, before I had my illness, when I was working, there was no way in a mental sense that I could have done the same thing, to be completely honest. And of course, I was feeling shit for the longest time while I was working. But at that point in time, because your work is so intense, you really don't have the time to address, or the mental capacity to address all this, because your work was paramount. And then second to that would be taking care of your kids and your parents and all that. So this came like really down the priority list in terms of your mental focus. So yeah, I was feeling crap about the weight for the longest time. I think I was heavy in terms of like about 60 since having my son, my first child. And that was 14 years ago? So it's 14 years of knowing that I'm overweight, not happy about it. Health was crap. I remember going to do my yearly checkup, and then the doctor says your cholesterol is high, you got slightly fatty liver. But when you're working again, that is, oh, what is the quick fix to it? Bad cholesterol is high. Doctor says either you exercise or you take omega-3 fish oil. That will
okay.
help. So anyway, so obviously me in my mindset at that point in time, okay lah, the easy one is take fish oil lah. So I took fish oil, and the good cholesterol went up. So as the ratio is better, but of course your bad cholesterol is still is, yeah. So it was not good, but being in that state of mind while I was working so hard at that point in time, I just never had the mental space to do what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
Yeah, to be honest, it's a mental space issue rather than a time issue.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but then when you decided to start do something about your health, do something about losing weight and everything, was there something that you were struggling with when it comes to the fat loss or the fitness aspect? Was it confusion?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you mentioned you had no mental capacity, but okay, let's just say mental capacity after that was clear, right?
Yes.
Okay, now you know what? Was there any confusion? Was there any like low motivation, gym fear, or yo-yo diet?
No, I think for me, the motivation, discipline, willpower, I don't think was ever an issue. I think that's why I chose the DIY. Because I think the major difference between DIY and your one-to-one, you got somebody like figuring everything out for you, pushing you. If you don't hit it, I'm going to question you why you're not hitting it. I'm going to adjust it for you, figure out what doesn't work and what works. So if I think a person doesn't have as much discipline and motivation, I think the one-to-one would be very helpful. It would work hand in hand. But I felt that I wasn't lacking in that area. So to me, I was quite sure that the DIY one would work for me. So in terms of what was lacking, why I came to you, because the willpower, discipline, motivation was there. What I was lacking was I didn't know how to get from point A to point B. All I knew was I needed to lower the amount of calorie intake. But now, retrospectively looking at it, that's only one part of a much bigger picture. If you wanted to do it healthy way, especially because For a person my age and my weight, if I was only going on the lesser calorie route to losing weight, it would reach a point where it would be unhealthy because my maintenance is already so low because as you're older, you have less muscles, your metabolic rate is lower. So your maintenance, everything is already at a low point. What you cut another 500 calories out from there, I'll be short of my nutrients. It doesn't, and since I got sick, now I am on my healing path. I didn't want to do something that's destructive to my body. So I want to do this, but I needed to know exactly how to do it in the healthy way. Not
sustainable,
losing my not losing my lean mass and all that. And I have a vague idea how to do it because I've been going through IG and I've been watching these videos and you got snippets of information all over the place from people like you and other people that's doing a similar thing to you. But the problem is you also, I couldn't piece it together. Bits and pieces from everywhere, but there is no step 1, step 2, step 3, a very coherent flow.
Yep.
So that's when I reached out to you because I couldn't figure it out. All I knew how to do was go on a slight caloric deficit and then I'll lose a little bit of weight and then it will stall and then I go on one holiday, it all comes back and it just goes round and round. So it just didn't work.
So would you say that's the only thing that you tried before reaching out to me? That's just
More or
try
less,
to
yes.
calorie deficit by yourself.
Yes, more or less.
And
It does
then
work for a little while, but it will always bounce back. Give it one holiday or one Chinese New Year or something like that, finish.
yeah. So then speaking of that, so you went for a holiday in the US. How was the weight? How was the weight before, during, and after? Once we're already working together, right?
Yeah.
You had a US trip. So how was it for you?
Yeah. I can't remember the exact number now without going back and looking at the data lah. But you told me to take protein. So I did that the whole way through. So I lost maybe about 2 kgs, I think 1 kg plus before US and after US. And looking at the data, I didn't lose much muscle, if any, maybe just slight. So it was very different lah from my previous holidays before I started working out. Yeah, the protein thing I realized is yes, very important.
Yeah. So I think let me show this one, right? Okay, hopefully it's recording. Yeah. So what was your date of your holiday again?
I cannot remember, but it should be
Early April or mid-April? Here, right?
yes. Wait. Just let me pull out my calendar, yeah. I left for New York on the 16th of April.
16th of April. Okay. Yeah, so 54. And then you came back?
I came back on the 2nd of May.
2nd of May. It's 54.3. It's about 54.9. So
yeah, so you can't really look at the 2nd of May because to be very honest, when I was on the plane, I somehow or other when I travel, I don't go to the toilet. So I was massively constipated by
it's okay.
So then when it all cleared out, like in 2 days' time,
drop.
Yeah, that would be the one.
Yeah, okay. 3.5. Okay, but my point is you can still go on holiday and still lose weight and still maintain the progress, right?
Yeah, but of course I did a lot of steps lah. Some days it was like 23,000, 24,000. That's our usual lah when we go on these type of holidays.
Correct. Okay, the next part. Okay, so going back to when you realized it didn't work, if you don't want to answer, it's okay. I won't include this later on. But
yeah, I know you're gonna edit, right?
Yeah, I did. Okay, so what finally pushed you into take action and actually invest in coaching?
So when I fell sick, my company gave me 2 years off. So I told myself in these 2 years, I am going to address all my health issues. So of course, the first was the surgeries and the recovery from the surgeries. I had to get that out of the way. Then after that, I told myself there's no better time to address this bit, the weight bit, which has been bugging me for the last, 14 years, than this time because I am not working and I've got all the time in the world to address this. So it was either now or never lah for me. And now looking at the amount of things that I do on a daily basis, would I have been able to do the same if I was working? I think hard to the same extent because when I'm trying to do 15,000 steps a day, some days, if I'm hanging around the house the whole day and I didn't go out, right? The number of steps is very low. So I would do 2 hours on top of it. It will be 1 hour before dinner, 1 hour after dinner. If I was working, 2 hours of walk, tough. Because when you come back from work, it's really what, 8:30 or something like that. Susah lah. So if I was working, I would probably be able to achieve the same result, but I would suspect a lot slower because for me, I think retrospectively, it was the number of steps which really made a difference. Remember, I was telling you I was plateauing, the weight wasn't really moving, and you said, hey, why don't you go and raise it up to 15,000 and see how it goes? That really made a difference for me. I don't feel it was so much the calorie reduction.
No, okay. So when you increase your daily steps, you actually increase your calorie output as well. So that actually creates the calorie deficit as well.
The deficit, yeah, but it wasn't so much a calorie reduction from food that did it for me.
Yeah, so that's why, in terms of when I approach my clients, right, I like to maximize however I can from the output first. That's sustainable. Then we reduce the calories, because when you reduce a certain amount of calories as well, you also get eating a lot less. So you are also eating a lot less macronutrients as well sometimes.
Yeah, not good for you, right?
Yeah, so it's not good for long term. So that's why I like to maximize the step count first, maximize whatever training that you can do first, then we reduce the calories slowly. But it depends. Everyone has a different preference. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. When then, why did you decide to work with me instead of doing it on your own?
I tried doing it on my own, it didn't work. And I also tried at first, I save money, right? So I tried to piece together the information that I got off Instagram to come up with something that works for me, but also hard because I realized that every individual have no two person is the same. So sometimes I think there's a certain amount of customization which is required to a person's particular needs and situation. So I just couldn't piece together from the cookie cutter kind of information that you get out there. So I thought, cannot lie, I need someone like you to tell me.
All right. The information has been helpful.
Very.
Great.
Yeah. The missing link was really the protein and the walking and the exact type of exercises to do. I have done exercises before I came to you, but it's more random. So I think it's not, I see muscles now that I've never seen before, even though I used to do weights. So I think when you do weights, you really come up with the exercises, right? It only targets certain areas. You want a fatter stomach, you try to do more stomach exercises, that kind of thing. So it's like, oh, suddenly I see thigh muscles, that kind of thing, which I've never seen before because I've never focused on it. So it was very helpful that you came out with that program.
Okay, I'll get back to that training program later on, which is very important. Okay, but before that, so did you feel like what was your fear or hesitation or any concerns that you had before joining? Like after we had, like during our call or even before we had a call. So was there anything that would have made you not work with me?
No, I don't think so. Money lah. That's the main thing. If you cost 4 times more than you cost, for example, then I'll say sorry, not enough money.
Okay.
But at that point in time, I have been watching you on Instagram long enough to know that what you are doing and your approach made sense to me. So I already knew that from that angle, you would be someone that I would want to work with. So after that, it was all a matter. I think cost, to be honest, is one of the main things. Sometimes it's actually not just about how much it costs. At the back of the mind, not just me, I'm sure everybody, because at that point before you sign up, you are not entirely sure, even you feel like you are motivated, you've got willpower and all that, you're not entirely sure whether that will carry you through the whole entire way of the program. At the back of the mind, you are slightly worried that, actually maybe more than slightly worried, about the possibility that maybe a couple of weeks in, you find out that, this is really not something that you can do, and then you give up, and then all that money goes down the drain. Of course, at that point in time, if somebody tells me, oh, it costs more than what I paid for certain, of course, there's no way of knowing this. For certain that you can get the result that you want, you are willing to pay it. But the thing is, at that point in time, you will never know. So you worry that you might end up paying for something that you cannot follow through and it'll be a waste of money.
Okay, so then how did you yourself overcome that?
I think one thing which really helped was because it gave me a trial period. to be honest.
Okay.
So during that trial period, I could roughly get a feel of what I'm supposed to do and whether it's something that I can follow through or not. So if during that period I find that it's not something that I can do long term, it's going to be a waste of money, then I would have continued. Because it was not a huge amount for that trial period. So I think that helped.
Okay.
That I had the assessment.
Okay.
Period.
So speaking about that, during that first few weeks, how did it feel?
Yeah.
So what stood out to you?
What stood out to me?
Made you want to, like, okay, you know what? I can continue with this.
I don't think it's that one. I don't think it's about the program, because the program is customizable to everybody's where they are and their situation and whatever not. I think it's more how I mentally felt when I was doing it.
Mhm.
I felt like it was something that I can continue with for months and months, versus something that feels very overwhelming and I think, okay, this is what this guy is telling me. I don't think I can do that after doing it for 1 week. I think it's too much. And then I quit. So it wasn't that. It felt very doable for me. So I chose to sign up. Yeah.
Okay. So but again, now
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. And based on the training program that you saw, that was given to you, right? And
Yeah.
you saw how simple it was.
Actually, the first time I did it wasn't simple, but okay.
Okay, but
It was hard.
okay, but that's actually one of the easiest training programs that they created. Yeah, it's very minimal. Right? I think you just needed an adjustable bench and some pair of dumbbells, right?
Oh, from that perspective, yes. In terms of equipment required, yes, it was very simple. But in terms of the kind of exercises I needed to do then versus where I was physically, some of it I found it hard.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
When you started something new, but
I can die actually.
You got better. So how long did it take for you to adapt to it?
At the beginning, maybe 2 cycles, because you gave me 3 sets, meaning 3 days. So maybe having done 6 days of exercises, something like that.
Okay. So now after all that, okay, so versus when you started versus now, okay, so what do you feel, what are the results that you have achieved so far? And physically, definitely important. Mentally, also important. And
emotionally, of course, from the aesthetics perspective, you feel so much better about yourself lah. Because you look in the mirror, you are where you were trying to get to for the last 14 years. So that feels very nice. Wear things that you couldn't for the longest time. But in the larger scheme of things, that would be the lesser important thing, for me at least. The biggest thing for me was the health improvements. I was really so happy with the liver results, the blood test. I cannot remember which one, but the oncologist said, oh yeah, your blood works came out very nice. She also asked me, hey, you've been exercising? I said, yeah. So that's the health part. And then from the strength perspective, I remember after my operation, there was this test that we do at home between my brother, me, my mom, where you sit down on a chair and you try to get up from the chair using one leg. I remember they say that's a test of your core strength. I remember I did it right leg, can struggle a bit, but can left leg I couldn't get out of the chair. Now no problem. So it's great. It's a huge difference. And I think I was telling you, can I have less number of exercises in a day because I don't enjoy strength training so much? Because to be honest, I don't know whether a lot of people do, but I don't like it, but I do it because I know it's good for me. But the walking, I ended up being something I really enjoyed because I realized when I walk, I clear my mind. And then at a certain point, I think the good chemicals start flowing in and you end the walk feeling a lot better than when you started. So to me now, that is something I enjoy doing on a daily basis. I don't think I will ever stop.
Great.
Because I like it. Yeah. But not 15K lah, because to walk 2 hours is a pain now, honestly. But sometimes it's like, hey, so that you cope, but then you still have to go 1 more hour.
No, actually, one of the ways where I do help if they still want, okay, let's say for example, you are working like a 9 to 5 job or no 9 to 6 job.
Weighted West, right?
No, not just weighted West. Another one is actually what I get them to do
Incline.
is get a walking pad.
The incline, is it? Oh, because then you get to watch TV at the same time, is it?
Correct. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. It actually works so well because I know that some people still need to watch that K-drama lah, whatever show they watch on Netflix. I said, yeah. Then all you need to play your phone. So my issue is that I like to play on my phone a lot. I like to read my comics. So what I will like to do is either I go out and read my comics, but sometimes you have to look up. You have to look up what it gets a bit annoying, or I'll just do that at my walking path at home.
Actually, eventually, I think I should get one because sometimes when it rains, that's when it's really a pain. I still go because I'm very OCD like that. If I need to hit 15, I will die hit 15 one. So if it rains, then I take umbrella lah. But then my shoes get wet, my socks get wet. It's like leceh lah.
You can also walk around.
It is like crazy person. Age 10 year old.
Yes. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So
Yeah.
I think we covered the. Do you feel like is there any like unexpected wins that you felt that before going in that you didn't expect to accomplish?
Yeah, the health bit. Because I think when I came to you, you asked me what was I trying to achieve. I told you I was trying to lose weight. That was the aesthetic portion of it. And then I was trying to gain strength because I was thinking about aging well. But I wasn't thinking so much about the cholesterol and the liver and all that. Actually, the liver, that came as a complete surprise because in my mind, before it actually happened, it didn't connect to me that the exercise can help the liver, the slightly fatty liver issue. Yeah, only in retrospect now I realized, oh yeah, so that was unexpected for me. It wasn't something I was conscious about going into this that I was trying to achieve. So that was something I was pretty happy with.
Great. Okay. So how has this affected your daily life, the people around you?
My mom's lost weight. She said my fault.
Huh? What do you mean?
Because I am watching what I eat
Correct.
a bit more. So she also indirectly watches what she eats a bit more. So it rubs off lah. So she also lost like 2 kgs. Also, maybe before I went on this program, I tend to buy a lot of not so healthy food. I'll bring cake lah, croissants lah, and sucker for pastries. I buy a lot of things home. So when there's a lot of things lying around, my mother also eat more lah.
Yes. I know.
Now I don't do that anymore. Ripple effects.
Yes. Okay. But in terms of work performance, in terms of your social life, your confidence in photos, are there any changes in that?
Not working. Social life. Same as what do you mean by social life?
No. Do you feel you have more energy to do more things as well with your family, stuff like that?
More energy, yeah. No, like same.
Okay. What about when you take photos?
That one huge difference. Last time, one of the reasons why I cannot stand. Honestly, when I take pictures, we are the sort that tend to take waist up lah. So even if you lost a lot of weight on the body, you can't really tell that much because it's mainly waist up on the body. But my pet peeve was that I have a lot of weight on my face. When I put on weight, right, at a certain point, I think everybody, this genetic makeup, at a certain stage, it goes to your thigh, then it goes beyond that, then it goes to your face. So mine, at about this weight range, a lot of it is my face. So before I lost the weight, I can't stand it because if I don't angle nicely, I look like I have a double chin. Now no more lah. And then it's like very round and puffy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say pre-fitness journey and then versus current fitness journey, Jennifer. Is there any like different habits or mindset shift that you notice that helped you get the results?
Different mindset shifts, like what?
Yeah, approach to fitness or like approach to nutrition or your view about walking, your view about strength training. There's no right or wrong answer. If you feel there's no difference, there's no difference.
Yeah. I think before I started this program, right, I don't track my calories. When I think I eat less last time, actually now looking at it retrospectively, I don't even know whether that was really less because it might have been less because it feels like less, but it might not have been. One thing I realized that's pretty important is that you really got to be very clear on what you are putting into your mouth, and the tracking calories part of the program has taught me that. So I think going forward for the rest of my life, I will always know that your gut feel of eating less is usually not very accurate.
Low
That's
volume
one.
food. It does, of course, the amount looks small, doesn't mean the calories are small.
Yeah. Sometimes you think you eat less, but then you could have taken a lot more sauces or whatever. And that I realize really adds up. So I think that consciousness on exactly what it is that you're putting in your mouth, which makes a huge difference on your outcome. That one, I think after going on your program, that point has really been driven home for me. Then the other thing was, of course, last time prior to going on your program, I really thought that me walking around my block, like 2 rounds, which is equivalent to 1,500 steps, by the way. 2 rounds, 1,500. Yes, betul. 2 rounds is 1,500 steps around my block. I really thought that going 2 rounds around my block is a very good thing already. So I'm doing my brisk walk. That's my exercise. So after going on, you really put everything into perspective. Yeah, so now I know 8.8K. And so, yeah, so there are these shifts in terms of the awareness of what you are actually supposed to do to get that kind of results. I think a lot of people are a bit delusional. They think that very little work. Yeah, I was one of them.
Okay. I don't want to say
True,
out loud.
right?
Okay. So, going on to that point, okay, about other people, right? Okay. So, what would you say to someone who thinks they don't have time or discipline to change?
No I think it's just a matter of, for me how much you want it. If you want it and you put your mind to it, I think you can definitely make time. But like I was saying previously, the problem for me last time was putting my mind to it, because my mind was almost fully occupied and so overwhelmed with work. So once I had some mental capacity, then it was fine. So I think, to me, when people say no time, no, I don't think it's the time, it's the brain.
Okay. But do you think that people, if it's important enough for them, they will make time for it?
Yes, for sure. To me, that's clear.
Okay. Cool. All right. So in the last 4 months, right?
I'm
stood
so
out that you're
most proud of her. Not really, to tell you the truth. It's just that every time I got to a new weight that I have, there's so many things. So there's not one thing, but every time I got to a weight that I've not seen in more than 10, 15 years, it is of course a very wow moment. And then every time I see muscle tones that I have never seen in my life, this is not even talking about being thin or fat. This is talking about muscle strength, muscle definition that I've never seen before. That's also a very wow moment.
nice. Okay.
And the other thing that I was really happy about, like I said a couple of times before, is the liver results.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no more double chin, right? No need to.
I need to adjust so much. Never
Okay.
really change.
Okay. So
You can tell, right, from the face, even
yeah, of course.
from.
I have the same issue as well. So like my face
Oh, you
will balloon
also.
out first. Then when I
Very
start to
legit,
lose weight,
right?
my face will start to lose first.
I have some friends, right? They can put on weight, their body gets bigger, but face is the same. So you take picture, nobody can tell. It's like, hey, how come so unfair? My first thing goes up to the face.
It's just, yeah, it really is up to the genetics. We don't get to decide.
Yeah, we don't take. Oh yeah, the other thing is, after being on your program for a long enough period, I have developed the ability to tune into my body more, I think, to listen to my body. So I have realized that for me, I don't know whether it's the same everybody. If I am on a slight, if I'm eating at a slight calorie deficit, because sometimes it's a bit of a guesswork, right? If I am slight calorie deficit, I realize that going closer to bedtime, I get slightly hungry.
Normal.
Yes.
Absolutely normal.
That's when I know, it's on track. Sometimes I'm not hungry at all. So regardless of what I wrote in, what I put in, log in my fitness pal, I know I'm probably not under.
Right.
So I'm also using the body feel to gauge whether am I on the right track or not, rather than solely going by number and trying to count the palms or whatever it is. So I felt that listening to my body was a very good way of getting a feel of whether I'm on track or not. The other thing is sometimes I go too low. I will also realize that when I do my daily walks, I have absolutely no energy. I feel like dying. Then I know something is off also. It's probably not enough food lah, by and large lah, I think lah. So that's when I will adjust it back lah. Then I say, okay, better eat a little bit more.
Yes, that's a
So
very good approach. Good job.
yeah, so throughout this 4 months period, these things I got, how do you say it? I got sensitized to is the wrong word. How do you say? In tune with.
Yeah.
I never noticed these things before, but yeah, during these 4 months.
Okay. So now at this point, what's next for you now that you made this progress?
So I'm at about weekly average weight is about 52.6. So I think I want to create a little bit of buffer because right now looks about right. And then after that, reverse and maintain now.
Okay. So last one. Okay. If someone is watching this and they're thinking about joining, what would you say to them?
I say if your mind is in the right place, don't wait lah. Why postpone a better version of yourself for later? Life is too short. Seriously, when I got sick, I realized that sometimes you don't have forever. Because when I was working, you think at the back of your mind that you're invincible. Then something happens and you realize that you're not. So no need to wait for that. Just do what's best for you.
Awesome. Okay.
It's true.
Yeah, got it.